Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Celebration Key, Carnival's newest private destination in the Bahamas. Today we're going to be giving you a full tour of this incredible beach destination and showing you everything it has to offer. We're also going to cover why this new destination is so controversial among loyal Carnival cruisers and how it's so different from other Carnival ports. We have all of that in today's video and so much more up next. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to Celebration Key. Good, bright, and early morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel and welcome for the first time ever to Carnival's Celebration Key, their newest private island destination. It's not really a private island, it's attached to Grand Bahama Island, which is home to Freeport, in case you guys are familiar with that. So a very similar situation to what Disney has with Lookout Key being attached to the island of Eleuthera. But anyways, we are here. We are just the second ever ship to dock here at Celebration Key, with yesterday being its grand opening celebration, and we are so excited to get off the ship today and explore the island in its entirety. There are a lot of things to see and do here at Celebration Key, and a lot we need to discuss, because this destination, while it is pretty, did not come without its fair share of controversy prior to opening, and we will get into that as we get onto the island and start exploring. But first impressions, it looks gorgeous. There are so many beach chairs by the water right now, so many umbrellas. I see quite a few trees out there. There's a massive lagoon, and then of course, how can we ignore the giant sandcastle that is smack dab in the middle of this destination. It looks incredible and I cannot wait to get off. Also, we have a decent sized pier walk to get from the ship to the island itself, but I equate the distance to I think it's about the same length as what you would find on Coco Key, and better yet, it has shade. There are shade structures all along the pier to get to the island, which is fantastic. We literally just woke up and we were met with this view, so we still have a couple of things to do inside to get ready and prepare ourselves for the day, but I am so excited to be here and to take you guys along and to give you guys a full tour of the island and of course share my thoughts with you guys. Something I want to note is that there is a set of speakers here on the pier right as you get off the ship, and it is a little loud. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but it is a little loud. We were actually able to hear this music from our stateroom, and that's actually what woke me up. So just bear that in mind if you guys have a balcony on, we're facing this way, so on the port side of the ship, you might have to deal with some early morning music. It is currently 7:45 in the morning. Also, I want to point out that Celebration Key is currently able to hold 2 Carnival ships, and we heard from the cruise director that it is also able to hold its largest ship as well. So, for example, if Carnival Mardi Gras wanted to come to Celebration Key, it would be able to, and it would be able to dock here. So not only are we able to dock on this side, but you're able to dock a second ship on this side as well. Very similar to what you would see at a port like Nassau. We do have care shuttles over here in case you guys have mobility issues and are not able to make the walk from the ship over to the island. You are able to hop on one of these, and there is a designated tram lane. And you can see the ground crew is hard at work getting things ready for us to get off the ship. They just installed a couple of gangways right there. They're installing another one here in the mid-section of the ship. So as of right now, all a short time isn't until I believe 8:15, and it is just past 7:45 right now. So we still have a little bit of time. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting breakfast or not, but let me go ahead and go inside and get myself ready to go, because we want to be one of the very first ones off the ship. We want to maximize our time here at Celebration Key, so that way we can show you guys as much as we can. Now, before we go out there, I want to point out that prior to us arriving, we did get this brochure or map in our room of Celebration Key, and if we open it up, it's got a bunch of information that we need to know before getting off, and it's got like a whole map of the island. It's like a really big thing. It's like a Disney park map, which is really cool, and I appreciate having. We only have one of these, so Steven and I are going to have to fight to the death for it, but it's still really cool to have, and it's something I highly recommend looking at before getting off. Also, it is worth noting that on Carnival Cruise Line, you don't get like unlimited beach towels. You do have a set of towels in your room, one per person, that you do have to bring off yourself and keep with you the entire day and return once you're done. So just make sure you're aware of that. As we get off the ship and make our way down to deck 1, I want to point out these digital clocks over here, which I really appreciate it. They have them on all the stairwells. As we got down to deck 0, they gave us another Celebration Key map. This one is in black and white. It's really cool. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever to Celebration Key. And take a look at this, guys. We have our first proper look at the Carnival Conquest. This is a cool view. I always appreciate being able to get an outside view. And the camera's already starting to fog. Good Lord. We have a couple of Junkanoo dancers out here taking pictures with guests. That's really cool. And check this out, guys. They have a little photo op out here for Celebration Key that's specific to the Conquest. That's really cool. I love that. So as soon as we get past the security checkpoint, we do have courtesy trams over here. These are not just for ADA use. Anyone can use these specific trams to take you guys all the way down to the island itself. There are ADA care trams that go all the way up to the ship to get you to bring you on down, but these ones in particular are for everyone. Here's a closer look at the ADA trams. You can see it actually has a wheelchair ramp, which is fantastic, and it goes all the way over to the ship. We have made it on board the tram, and we are making our way over to Celebration Key proper right now. This is awesome. We're facing backwards too. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you officially to Celebration Key. Check it out, guys. We have a bunch of crew members out here waving Bahamian flags. This is so cool. I am excited to be here. I just want you guys to take a look at this. This is awesome. This archway over here, perfect photo opportunity for guests as they're getting off the ship and making their way onto the island for the first time. And then we have this whole plaza area over here. Look at the water fountain. We have water features. You guys know how much I love a good water feature. And then we, of course, have the giant sandcastle over here with a couple of water slides. This is fantastic. An excellent first impression to Celebration Key. I cannot wait to go and look around. But first things first, we do need to find a locker so that way we can drop off all of our stuff, so that way we have a lighter load. We have guest services right here. Let's go ahead and chit chat with them and figure ourselves out. Okay, first little hiccup, lockers are actually not available yet. So our goal was to get off the ship with some of our stuff and just put it in a locker so that way we wouldn't have to worry about carrying it around or leaving it somewhere for someone to pick up. That's unfortunately not going to be the case. So we have to walk around with all this today, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. We'll make do. We'll make do. And check this out, guys. We have a giant map of the entire destination. I was going to say island. It's not the island. An entire destination. And look at the massive lagoon that we have here in the center. It is really crazy that there's this big of a lagoon here, and you can see we have all the information on the side over here. So yeah, I highly recommend, if you haven't already looked at the map that is in your stateroom, you come over here and you take a look at this to kind of plan your day out. Also, just to make things easier for you all to follow, we are going to be making our way around the island counterclockwise. So we're going to start here in the shopping area and head to the left. And because we are attached to a much larger island, there are actual excursions to go off of Celebration Key and to go out and explore Grand Bahama proper. And check out this absolutely massive sandcastle, guys. This is nuts. This is home to the racing water slides. Unfortunately, they do cost extra. They are not included with your admission to Celebration Key. I say admission like you paid to get in. You didn't pay to get in. I mean, you paid for your cruise. But anyways, it is home to a couple of water slides that you do need paid access to get into, which we did pay to get access to that, so you will see that later. So just beyond the giant sandcastle over here, we have a massive shopping plaza, lines with a whole bunch of different stores and local shops, which is amazing to see. We do have a couple of larger name brands here, like there's a Del Sol here, for example, where everything in there reacts to the sunlight. Really cool stuff. If you've never been inside a Del Sol, I highly recommend you do so. But you have a bunch of local shops here. And then in the back, it's more of like a flea market type atmosphere with a bunch more local shops as well. Just a word of warning, a couple of these shops only take cash and they do not take cards. So if you are looking to purchase stuff, please make sure you bring bring cash with you off the ship. And as far as I know, there are no ATMs on Celebration Key like this destination. You have to go like off property in order to get cash. So make sure you have some with you. But I do want to point out this store over here, Island Treasure Gifts and Souvenirs. This is going to be your main Celebration Key gift shop. Almost everything inside this store is branded as Celebration Key. So if you keep walking straight and go to the very back of the island, we have our official exit. And over here you can see it says taxi stand, quick rides to explore Grand Bahama. I also want to point out the first aid stand over there, which is really good to know. And here's a quick look at just some of the excursions that are available here on Grand Bahama. In case you guys don't really care for Celebration Key, you guys can go off and do your own thing. And you can see there's a group of guests now getting ready to head on out for an excursion. I also want to point out that there are tram stops located throughout the island, so you can hop on a tram over here and take a tram to a whole different area, just in case you guys aren't interested in walking. But since it's our first time here, we're open to exploration, so let's continue walking. As we make our way over to wherever we're headed, we don't really have a destination right now, but I do want to point out some of the cabanas that they have over here that are available to rent for the day if you are interested here at Celebration Key. I don't remember the pricing exactly off the top of my head, but for these cabanas over here, they are in the sand. You can see they have a couple of chairs over here, and it looks like they have a little coffee table, and it has access to the lagoon over here. And not to worry guys, there are plenty of restrooms located throughout Celebration Key as well. Let me go ahead and take a quick look inside. Yep, unfortunately the lockers are not available yet, but here's a look at them. I'm not entirely sure how you would open them. I think there's a little stand right here for an iPad, so I might link up to this and just open up automatically via an iPad. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, I want to point out the handicap accessible restroom over here that is accessible via the concrete walkway. Something else worth pointing out is the pharma box over here, which is really cool to see. You have a bunch of different things that you might need. We have cooling after sun gel, aloe. We have sunscreen over here. They have feminine hygiene products. They have deodorants, Tylenols, Advils, ibuprofen, allergies, Band-Aids. They even have diapers in here as well. Holy crap, they even have Neosporin. They have a lot of different things in here. Antacid tablets, so that's awesome. In case you guys forgot anything or like desperately need something, here you go. Might be expensive, but it's here. So we're heading on inside Calypso Lagoon Peninsula, and there are a bunch of cabanas lined up over here. And we did ask permission to take a look at one of the cabanas, or a couple, whichever ones are empty, so that way you guys can get an idea of what to expect. First things first, lots of vegetation. I love how much plant life there is over here, which is awesome. Let me go ahead and we'll pick one of these other ones over here. Okay, so let's take a closer look at cabana number 22. We have some nice plush chairs over here, which is awesome. We have a couple of throw pillows as well. Looks like storage space underneath over here. Let's see. Yep, oh, there's even a safe down there. That's really cool. Let's see, are these menus? What are these? Yep, these are menus, so you can go ahead and order things to be delivered to your cabin. Here's a look at that and the different prices. You can pause to read. There's even a drinks menu over here, which is nice. And then the best part of all is that you have your own access to the lagoon. Now it's worth noting that it's not your own private lagoon. Very, very important to note, not your own private lagoon. Anyone can come over here and be in this part of the lagoon, but you have your own little like elevated part, which is interesting to get your feetsies wet. And you have your own chairs in the water. You have your own umbrella, and it looks like there's even a cooler here, which is really cool. You can see a couple of Coke cans in there, Diet Coke and waters. And yep, just as I suspected, it looks like this area is 18 plus. That sign right there says 18 plus, even though there is a small child right there. And you can see all of these cabanas are lined up one next to the other. So in case you guys are looking for privacy, probably not gonna get it. I mean, today of all days, you might get some privacy because there's no one using these cabanas, but it's also worth noting that there are curtains that you can draw close for some additional privacy. And I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it looks like the bigger family cabana over there has its own water slide and a swinging hanging chair, which is cool. I also want to point out the availability of day beds. These do, of course, cost extra. And we have hammocks over here, which is really cool. And then we have another look at one of the on-sand cabanas as well. So there are plenty of options here for seating and relaxation. You can either relax for free under one of the free beach chairs under an umbrella, or have a day bed or a cabana. So I just want to show you guys this and let you appreciate everything that we have here, because this is incredible. It's just going on 9:30 in the morning right now, and you can see just how empty it is. You can tell that this island destination is made to have more than one ship in. Right now, our ship's capacity is like 3,600 passengers, and you can see it is completely empty right now. Now, granted, there are a lot of people who are probably still on board the ship because the club was happening last night, according to my friend Steven. But there are still just plenty of beach chairs available. Of course, the closer you are to the center, the more populated it's going to be, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But the further on out you go, the less populated it's going to be, and the more quiet it's going to be. I also want to point out the beach volleyball court that they have over here, which is awesome. And take a look at that. You can see they even have a half-court basketball court over here, which is awesome. And something else I want to point out is the beach wheelchair that's available in case you want to have someone wheel you out to your spot and you can't exactly walk through the sand. They have chairs available, and they even have inner tubes that are available for rental as well, and they have floaties too. So in case you guys are curious on pricing, these tubes over here are $19.99, so $20, and these are $10.99 to rent. So we have come up on our first food venue. This is called Surf and Sauce Barbecue and Brews. You can see all the outdoor seating over here. A couple of seats have umbrellas, which is awesome. You can see a nice big bar over here. But I want to point out the food options that they have. Now, oddly enough, there's no pricing listed, but I did see pictures of this place with pricing on it. But just to get an idea of what they have over here for appetizers, jalapeno poppers, loaded french fries, mac and cheese, baby back ribs as an appetizer, okay. Half-rack chicken, smoked shrimp, and barbecue wings. We have different handheld options, including beef sausage hoagie roll and a brisket sandwich. And then we have a shareable platter, which is amazing, and some desserts. Now, getting into food pricing, this is where we get into the first little bit of controversy for this island destination, is that none of the food here is complimentary. When you get off the ship, you are given one dining credit to use per person for the entire day. So you can only go and eat one food item, and it comes with a cookie as well. So like one main entree item at several different locations, and we'll get into more details in a little bit. But it is not like all you can eat. There are no all you can eat food locations here on the island. So you get one item, and then the rest you have to actually pay out of pocket for. Ooh, and take a look at that. We have like a food truck stop stand type thing where you have a bunch of different locations where you can order food and get food. They're obviously not open yet. It is still very early in the morning, but a little bit later on, we will be back over here to check it on out. Something that's really cool to see is we have a complimentary water and ice station, which is awesome. So you can come over here, you can grab a cup. I'm taking the whole thing, there we go. You can get some ice and some water. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to better explain the food situation here. So, like I said earlier, you only get one dining credit to use while you're on the island, and there are plenty of different places where you can use your credit, but it's important to note the Island Eats section. The Island Eats section is the only section that you are able to eat from complimentary. So, you have only one credit to use per person. So, for example, if you wanted a fried chicken sandwich, that is the only thing that you would get for free during the day. It's also important to note that anything you get off the Island Eats section, it does come with a chocolate chip cookie. Anything else over here that you would want costs additional, so just make sure you bear that in mind. I don't know yet if they charge it to your room or if you need to bring your own cash or card. We will be finding that out in just a little bit once these opened up. Okay, this kind of explains it a little bit more. Let's see, experience more flavor. While at Celebration Key, each guest in the stateroom is given a choice of one complimentary lunch. Use your Sail Inside card to enjoy one inclusive meal at selected fast casual venues, or 25% off one entree. Enjoy 25% off one entree at a variety of Celebration Key full-service restaurants. Bonus though, kids eat free from the kids menu at all full-service restaurants. Island Eats does not apply to the Pearl Cove Beach Club, which is interesting. So again, it's all a little bit complicated complicated and it's going to take a while to figure out, but we're just doing the best that we can to explain it all to you guys. It's also very important to note that with each of the restrooms that we've seen so far, there are showers attached along the side in case you guys want to rinse off. So before I forget to point it out, we have the Pearl Cove Beach Club over here on Celebration Key. My friend Steven is actually going in right now. He paid the extra money to get on inside. It is an added cost, adults only haven. So he paid $80 to get in and you get full day access. So we have just about finished our loop of Calypso Lagoon. I also want to point out the beach access over here as well. So you can walk across the way over here, make sure you look both ways before crossing, and you can access the beach. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Celebration Key Beach. You can see all the beach chairs that we have lined up over here that continue to go back a ways. You can see the water line over here, and then the best part of all is the view of the ship that you get right here, which is fantastic. You can get into the water and pretty much be up close and personal to the ship, which is awesome. You can see there are quite a few guests already in the water enjoying themselves. Something I also want to point out is that the Pearl Cove Beach Club beach access is right here as well. You can see that there is a little bit of a barricade separating that from the general public. But guys, this is fantastic. Look at this view. Oh my gosh. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, not to worry, there is a lifeguard on duty. I also want to point out that the day beds are not just exclusive to the lagoon. You can see we do have some day beds over here on the beach. I also want to point out how they planted a bunch of like blades of grass over here. So eventually this is all going to grow up or sprout. I don't know the proper terminology. Anyways, it's going to get more lush and more thick, and it's going to be located on both sides. And they do have a wooden ramp over here to give you access to the beach once this is all grown in. We've stumbled upon another main restaurant over here on Celebration Key. This one is called Mingo's Tropical Bar and Kitchen, which is awesome. Here's a quick look at some of the starters that you can get. You got conch fritters, conch ceviche, guacamole, quesadillas, and chicken tenders. And mains, lemon pepper chicken pasta, coconut curry chicken, fajitas, Caribbean grilled lobster. Ooh, that looks good. So current time is just after 10 a.m. in the morning, and as you guys can see, the lagoon is starting to fill up just a little bit more. But the best news is that this is only half of the lagoon. There's a whole nother half to explore on the opposite side of the island over there. So let's go ahead and make our way over that way. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at what to expect at 10 a.m. in the morning. And you guys can see there are still plenty, and I mean plenty, of chairs and umbrellas available. And check this out, guys. Across the way over here, there's a bar that you can walk into while you're in the water. And there's a bunch of swings over here that you can swing on while you're getting a drink. That is so cool. So we're over here next to the giant sandcastle, and take a look at what we found, guys. Yum Shine Scoops. This is a little ice cream shop. Let's see what they have. Take a look at the menu. We have cups, waffle cones, and regular cones. You can see single is $5, double is $8. Not exactly the cheapest thing in the world, but it is still really cool to have. You can see our different ice cream flavors over here. We have different drizzles and different toppings.
I'm sure it can add up pretty quickly, or you can get a sandcastle sundae for $18. And then take a look at this, guys. We are now on the opposite side of the giant sandcastle, and we have another massive lagoon. This is called Starfish Lagoon. So this is the more family side of the beach. There's no adult only section over here. All families are allowed. And then you have the Calypso Lagoon on that opposite side over here. Before we get started with our tour of Starfish Lagoon, I wanted to go ahead and get a quick drink. We're relaxing over here in the shade for just a moment because it is really hot outside and the cameras are starting to get a little warm. So we're just giving ourselves a little bit of a break. But because I have a drink, I wanted to get into the next little controversy for this island. First of all, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Pina colada, $16 with gratuity added. So by no means is it cheap, but it's still really good and really refreshing. But regarding the controversy, the drink package does not work here on Celebration Key. So whatever drink package you paid for on the ship, it does not apply to the island. You have to pay for all of your drinks here out of pocket, which is really unfortunate. I know that there was a lot of people online who are voicing their frustrations with this rule. Again, everything is subject to change. If they get enough pushback, they might change things, but as of right now, your drink package does not work on this island. So just be aware of that. You're having to pay for everything out of pocket. So as we get started walking around Starfish Lagoon, which is the more family side of Celebration Key, we are met with Guppy's Grotto, which is basically a children's splash pad area and a small little wading pool for the little ones, which is really awesome to see. I love that. It's got a little bit of depth to it. It maybe goes 1.5 feet deep of water and then it transitions on into a splash pad. That's really nice to see. I love that. And as you guys can see, just like Calypso Lagoon, we do have a bunch of cabanas lining the back section of this little portion of Celebration Key, and there are a few day beds that are closer to the lagoon. So we have now stumbled upon Captain's Galley Food Hall. It looks like this is going to be another place where you can get your complimentary and paid food. Immediately loving the theming. You can see a bunch of barrels over here. We have a treasure map. That's really cool. Let's head on inside and check it out. So as we walk in, we have signage reminding you of how the complimentary lunch service works. And then we have a bunch of themed items. It's really cool. They have a little helm thing over here where you can pretend like you're steering. Let's see, how does this all work? I see places to stand over here, but I'm just kind of, oh my gosh, this place is huge. Holy moly, this place is massive. Check this out, guys. Whoa. This place can hold quite a few people, and it looks like they're still getting things ready. It's not quite 11 o'clock yet. It's actually 11 o'clock right now, and I think the food opens at 11:30. But taking a quick look at the menu, you can see the Island Eats. Choose one. This is what you're choosing that's included with your cruise and admission to Celebration Key. And then you, of course, have your paid options over here. Okay, so I didn't even realize it, but it's split up into different sections. So you had burgers and more over there. You have pizza over here. You can see your free and paid options. You can also see we have tacos, burritos, and bowls. It doesn't look like this is included. It looks like you're gonna have to pay separately for these, but it is good to have as an option. You can see we even have Mediterranean options with pita bread, herbs, rice, mixed greens, different proteins, falafel shawarma, beef shawarma, chicken shawarma, lamb shawarma, okay. And then the burgers and more repeats on the far end over here. So we have found the Coke machines over here at the food hall, and something really important that I want to point out is that unfortunately this is not free. You are going to have to pay for a cup, and you get one initial fill and one free refill. That's it. So you pay for the cup and it is $3, and you have all of these options over here. Making our way back over to the lagoon, you can see we have another swim up bar over here. It's definitely not as big or as crowded as the one that's on the Calypso side, so that's awesome. But I also want to point out the crowd levels. So you can see the number of people that are down here, and let me just pan to the side over here. The further in you go, the less crowded it is. So that's definitely the strat. If you are looking for less crowds and you're willing to walk a little ways, you can definitely get away from the crowds and have your own little space here. Also, I love these tables that are here in the water so you can sit down and have a drink. They even have umbrellas too. That's awesome. I love that. I also want to point out these weird looking inflatable cabanas. This is a different style of cabana that you can purchase ahead of time, and it looks like it's an inflatable, and it kind of has like direct access within the lagoon, which is really interesting. So you can kind of keep your feet in the water and then get up and sit down on the little benches over there. You can see it kind of moves as well. That is very interesting. That's different.
That cabana has a slide.
The cabana does have a slide. Yeah, the big family cabanas do have a slide. You can see that over there, private slide. So if you want to shell out the money, you got your own slide. And again, over here on Starfish Lagoon, we also have a beach volleyball court, and it looks like we have some ping pong tables over here as well, which is cool. So current time is just before 11:30 in the afternoon, and look at how much room for activities there is out here. Hardly anybody at all, which is insane. Except Steven, he's out here. He takes up a lot of space, so, I mean, once he's gone, then there'll be plenty more room for activities. But anyways, guys, but just look at how many beach chairs there are that are open and available, and you can see just how few people there are in the lagoon as well. This is perfect.
Okay, so this is just a theory of mine. I could be wrong, but I think, well, actually, just by looking, the Starfish side is way more emptier than Calypso, which is the adults only side. I think people are thinking, I don't want to see kids, I'm gonna go to the adult side. And so that's what we're experiencing right now. Everyone's trying to dodge the families and kids, but really, if you're thinking about it right, you should come to the family side because there is not that many people out here. And we're in the middle of summer, so it's summer vacation. There should be tons of families on board. Come to the Starfish side. Not as many people.
At least for right now.
At least right now.
And very similar to what we saw on the Calypso side, we also have food trucks over here on the Starfish side. Definitely not as many food trucks, but there are still plenty available to order food from. And again, you only get one free item, which is unfortunate. And on either side, we have water refill stations. Okay, so we are starting to get hungry, but we're not necessarily going to get lunch yet. We want to amuse our bouche, an amuse-bouche, if you will. So we are going to visit Donuts King, and we are actually going to spend money on these donuts. So you get mini donuts. You can get a half dozen classics for $12, or you can get a half dozen specialty mini donuts for $14.50. You can also get shaved ice here too, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and order some. Okay, something worth noting that is interesting about the mini donuts is that if you get the half dozen specialty mini donuts, you only get 3 flavors. So you're getting 6 donuts total, but you can only get 3 total flavors, if that makes any sense. So we opted for the guava cheesecake, Oreo, and the s'mores. And check this out, guys. The donuts have arrived and they look absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, bees, can you please? That's something I haven't noted yet, is that there is a little bit of a bee problem here on Celebration Key, is that there are bees everywhere. And I really don't want to kill them too because they're endangered, but it's fine. They just need to find other people to pick at. But getting back to the donuts, they are made fresh to order. So it took a minute for them to come out. I mean, technically it only took like less than 5 minutes for them to come out, but it's really nice. They look and smell amazing. And they come in this little Celebration Key tray, which is really cool. I love that. But enough talking, let's go ahead and dig in. You know, I was actually telling Coda the other day as we were going to Orlando that I have had a craving for mini donuts, like the ones that you get at a carnival, like in a big bucket. This is exactly that. These donuts are made fresh to order. They're warm, they're super sweet. I love it. I mean, I only had the Oreo one first. We still have some of the other ones to try, but that is fantastic. I am overexposed. Good Lord. Hold up. There we go. But yeah, definitely don't miss out on these donuts. If you have to pay for them, then pay for them. You do have a free option, but you are using your credit. So instead of getting lunch, you'd be using it for dessert. So that's completely up to you, but I highly recommend paying for them. They are fantastic. All right, we have claimed our beach chairs over here and we are getting ready to head on inside the lagoon for just a little bit. We've already explored all of the Calypso side. We are 90% done with the Starfish side, so we're gonna take this time to get into the water, enjoy ourselves for a little bit before continuing on and having some more food. All right, it is time to head on into the lagoon for the first time. Sand is rather warm, and so is this part over here, but it's not concrete. It's actually like a little squishy, just a little bit. So I guess it's good for the kiddos if you're wanting to walk into the water and possibly fall. And the floor is not hard either. It's also a little squishy. And the water is a little chilly. Not gonna lie, the water is not heated, but it is super refreshing. For how hot it is outside, this is really, really refreshing. Let's see how far down we go as far as depth is concerned. So right now I am waist deep. It has gone beyond the nuggets, and this is as deep as it is right now. I don't know if it goes any deeper, but just so that you guys know what to expect. So update on the water depth. It is actually up to my chest, and we are still by the aquabanas. We have another set of cabanas off in this direction over here. These are more sturdy cabanas, and they're like the ones that I showed you guys earlier, so we don't really need to go into that. But I want to show you guys something. So you guys see just how empty it is over here and how dead it is. Let me turn the camera around. Take a look at how much more busy it is down there. Holy cow. A lot more people. And then you have the food hall over here, and it is slammed. There are so many people there. So my recommendation would definitely be to make the trek out and get as far away from the center of Celebration Key as possible if you want to have the most room for activities, if that makes any sense. Like, you guys can see how much more crowded it is over there, and by no means is it like overly crowded. Like, there's still room to spread out, but there's just a lot more people over there than what you're gonna find over here on this far end. I also want to give you guys a look at one of the aquabanas that they have, or party bana as it's called. Like, there's an aquabana over here and a party bana over here. I don't know what the difference is, if there is any, but either way, I want to show you guys what it is. This one's empty. You can see we have some stairs that lead in, and it's like a very hard inflatable surface, and you guys can see that there's a place for you to kind of lounge out. You can keep your feet in the water over here and just kind of sit back and relax, or lay down, whatever you guys want to do. There's a table here in the center. And you can see there's cup holders, and there's like a proper table. So there's a family over there that's actually like playing a card game. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do, this is an option. And that's really the key word when it comes to Celebration Key, and that is options. There are so many ways to customize your experience and to enjoy yourself here on the island. You can choose to ball out and get a cabana and spend the extra money on all the upcharges, or you can just chill out for free and just do your own thing. It is completely up to you, which is awesome. I love having options. All right, it is actually quite some time later, and we are out of the lagoon and dried off and ready to go. I would love to spend a lot more time in here, but we still have a little bit more of the island to see, and yeah. We have this approaching, so I want to go ahead and finish off touring the island before the sky opens up, possibly. Over here at the Starfish Lagoon, we have another full-service restaurant called Gill's Grill. Let's go ahead and take a look at the menu. You can see for appetizers, we have peel and eat shrimp, popcorn shrimp, a bunch of other shrimp, crab cake, conch chowder, different salads, handhelds, fish sandwich, grilled chicken sandwich, and classic burger, different mains, fish and chips. What is that? Blackened mahi-mahi. That's really nice. But again, all of this is at an added charge and not included in your complimentary meal. Aw, and take a look at this. We have a sand sculpture over here for Celebration Key. That's awesome. Got different crabs and shells, an octopus, a seahorse. That's so cool. It really is a shame that we missed it, but there was a whole Junkanoo parade over here in the center of Celebration Key not too long ago. I heard the music from a distance and I got out of the water to dry off, but alas, it has ended and all the performers are heading on inside. But that's still something really cool that you guys can experience here. I love how elaborate the costumes are. Oh my gosh. That is wild, so colorful. And with that, I do believe we have made the full loop around Starfish Lagoon. We can see the sandcastle structure right there, and we have made it back to the Celebration Key exit. There's another tram stop right here, and here's the little flea market area. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered just about everything, right?
We did it. We did everything in Celebration Key. We never have to come back. We can just go home.
Yeah, we don't need to stay any longer. Let's just go back to the ship. This is a really good time to remind you guys just how dangerous lightning storms can be. Even though the storm is over there and not technically over us, lightning still has the ability to stretch out really far. We just saw a bolt stretch all the way out this way. So yeah, if you hear thunder, then you are in the vicinity and able to get struck by lightning. So we are actually going to look for some cover right now. while we hunt for food.
Oddly enough though, they have not started like emptying the pool. They really should be emptying the pool at this point, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so for our included lunch, we decided to come over to Flippin' Fritters, and with my free lunch, I get a 6-piece fritter meal. It includes 2 conch, shrimp, and corn fritters. It also includes sweet potato fries, Caribbean coleslaw, and a chocolate chip cookie. If I wanted anything else, it would cost extra. Okay, so we were going to eat at one of the food trucks, but there were folks in front of us who said that they had been waiting almost 45 minutes for their food, and we spoke to several others at different trucks who said the same thing. It seems all the food is made to order, so if you're going at a popular time to eat, then you can expect to wait a while for your food, which is really unfortunate. Not wanting to sit out in the sun forever, we decided to head on over to Mingo's to eat. Before we sat down though, we were offered a tour. All right, what's your name?
Lashante Bouncing.
Lashante, I love it.
Actually, so you want to be here.
You want to give us a quick tour of Mingo's?
I will. Come on.
Let's go.
So, we do have our swimmer bar that's over there. The swimmer bar is adult friendly. You can get yourself a nice cocktail. We have our signature drinks, some of our Bahamian specials. My favorite would definitely be either the Bahama Mama, because I'm a Bahama Mama, as you can see.
Okay.
We have our banana berry, which is another one of our signature drinks here at Mingo's. And let me tell you guys, we're at Celebration Key, but we're at the party spot, which is actually Mingo's. It's no party like a Mingo's party.
Ooh, I love that.
All right, so we do have our service bar here. You can take a look as you go down. We do have our dining areas where you can come on in, have a seat, have the service take your orders and cater to you. And we do have our summer bar where you can get your nice refreshing drinks whilst you enjoy the pool, kick back, relax, and you get food there too.
Excellent, I love that.
Before you go down, let me let you guys see our menu. So this would be our food menu. Now with this, I must tell you guys, my favorite would actually be either our conch fritters. It's a Bahamian thing, of course. And we do have the artichoke and spinach dip, my next favorite. Now for our mains and our burgers and everything else, we have the barbecue rum runner burger. I would say it is my favorite, absolute. And the surf and turf is really good.
Ooh, it all sounds amazing.
It is. And you guys, you can get that nowhere else at Celebration Key but here at Mingo's.
Excellent. I love it. Excellent job. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. To start, I opted for the conch fritters, and they were incredible. For my main, I opted for the chicken fajitas, which was also very delicious. This is a full-service restaurant, and sadly, it was not cheap at all. After tax and tip, the meal came out to $57. They also couldn't apply the 25% entree discount due to new system errors, so sadly, we lost out on that. Alright, it is going on 3:20 in the afternoon right now, and I just wanted to give you an update on the lagoon situation. This is the Calypso side. All aboard is at 4:30, and you can see just how much it has cleared out over here. Oh my goodness. So much room for activities. If you guys are willing to stay until the very end, until closer to all aboard time, then you guys are going to have the whole lagoon pretty much to yourself, and that is fantastic. Alright guys, better late than never. We are actually going to hop on one of these slides, or actually both of these slides. There are 2 racing slides here at Celebration Key. Unfortunately, they are not free to use. You do have to pay to use them, and it costs $12 to ride both of the slides. Thankfully, with that $12, you get unlimited access the entire day that you're here. I'm only going to be riding them once. We've been busy doing other things and filming other things, but I figured we should at least ride it once. So let's go ahead and get on. Unfortunately, I can't bring a GoPro or anything on it, so you guys will just have to take my word for it that I rode it. Okay, just got done with the racing slides. I did both of them. There was Pink Flamingo and Blue Marlin. Both of them were pretty cool. They're not the greatest slides in the world, and quite frankly, I don't think that they're worth $12 on their own, but if you have small kids that are 40 inches tall and are willing to marathon the slides all day, then I suppose it could be worth it. For a couple of adults who are only riding it once, definitely not. So do with that information what you will. Also, it is worth noting that it does have a maximum weight limit of 300 pounds, and you do have to step on a scale prior to going up the stairs. Now, the scale that you step on, it does show a weight, but they have black tape over the numbers, so the first digit is what's exposed, and the rest of the digits are not. So it'll show either a 1, 2, or 3. If it shows a 3, then it's a no-go. Anything less than 3, then you're totally fine and you can ride. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we came, we saw, we conquered. Celebration Key is now checked off the list. I had an absolute blast here. Like, there are a lot of great things about this new island destination from Carnival, and I'm gonna get into my thoughts a little bit later once we are off the ship and back home. But wow, this was a lot of fun. All in all, I had a blast. There are, of course, some negatives that I'll get into later, but yeah, it was fantastic. Getting off the ship nice and early and staying off the ship until right towards the end is the most ideal thing to do. We are both exhausted. We need to get back on board. We need to shower, and we have the rest of the night of fun activities and entertainment to look forward to on Carnival Conquest. So the video is nowhere near over yet. Let's head back on board, guys. The good news is trams are constantly running between the ship and the actual island itself, so we didn't have to wait very long at all. You can see all the dock workers are getting ready to close things up and send us off. Now we make our way back. And with that, we are pulling away from Celebration Key. What a fantastic visit. I honestly can't wait to come back. I really want to come back. Whew, now that we have made it back inside the room, it is time to shower and get ready for the rest of the evening. But we have our second and final towel animal of the cruise. What do you guys think it is? I don't even really know what it is. Let's see. It looks like it might be a dog. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's very cute. I love how it has eyes. So we have departed Grand Bahama, where Celebration Key was located, and we are slowly but surely making our way back to Miami. But I just want to show you guys the water right now. It looks like something out of a video game. It is so weird. I love it. I'm not complaining at all. Smooth seas are always the best, but the texture of the water, it's not normal. It's super smooth. All right, it's a few hours later, and it is now time for us to have dinner. You can see they're showing Moana 2 up on the, I want to say Funnel Vision, but it's the big screen up here, and we're heading on over to the Lido buffet for dinner. Check this out, guys. Another day, another beautiful sunset out on the open ocean. Can't ask for anything more.
Oh, you went on your phone first?
All right, we made our way over to the buffet for dinner. Here is what I got. Nothing too crazy. I have some pork over here, some chicken, some beef from the carving station. I also have some mashed potatoes and fish. For some reason, it is very blurry. There you go. Now you can see everything. We didn't want to eat too much because we are still pretty full from lunch. So this is just stuff for us to pick at. Okay, so food in the buffet. It was okay. It's buffet food. I have never once really raved about any kind of buffet food. So the way it works on Carnival and even Royal Caribbean that we noticed is that the food that you get in the buffet at night is typically very similar, if not exactly the same, as what you're going to get down in the main dining room. The only difference is that the food up here, it's kind of made rather quickly, and it's not of the same quality as what you're going to get in the dining room. So the benefits of coming to the buffet is that you get your food right now, and you can be in and out of here within really 10-15 minutes if you really want it to be. You know, you go down to the main dining room, you're sitting down, and you're like, it's more of an experience, you know, and you get that quality and that care.
I just thought of this. We know that it's the same food as in the dining room, but you can't actually cheat and look at the main dining room menu because there's no guarantee that everything on that menu is going to be here. In fact, not everything is. So if there's something specific you want, it may not be here because I don't know what we're missing, but I know we're missing something at least.
So again, yeah, it's similar, but not exactly the same as what you're going to get in the main dining room. So you just have to kind of pick your battles. You know, the food here was okay. It's passable. It's nothing to rave about. But if you're wanting the better quality, then go to the main dining room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it into the main theater for one final performance, except it's not really a performance. It is the Love and Marriage Show. So if you guys are familiar with Match Your Mate on Disney Cruise Line, basically the same thing, but a little bit different. Okay, we just got done with the Love and Marriage Show, and that was absolutely fantastic. We still have yet to see a version of this on Royal Caribbean, but this version over here,
a million times better than what they have at Disney. On Disney, I like how they kind of put a Disney twist on a couple of the questions. And if you know the questions, then you know what I'm talking about. But this one, so much fun because it's a whole different demographic of people that are cruising Carnival versus Disney. So the answers that you're getting in this version is completely different than any kind of answer that you would get on Disney. Absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10, hilarious. I loved it. Okay, so I just found something that made me laugh out loud. So you can see all these photos, right? Old school, they line up all the photos. So if for whatever reason you don't like what you see, okay, so it wasn't your best shot. You can put it in there, but that's not the best part. Photo go bye-bye box. I absolutely love that. That is funny. Whoever thought of that, I applaud you. That is perfect.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, our first ever Carnival cruise on the channel is in the books. We aren't going to do a full review and critique of our experience in this video, but rather we will post that review separately coming up in the next video. But I wanted to share my thoughts and review of Celebration Key before we end off this one. Overall, I loved this new destination. The space itself is gorgeous and everything we saw was beautiful. The lagoons are massive and there are plenty of options for seating, which is great. You guys already know, I'm a pool guy. I'll choose a pool over a beach any day, so this island has my name written all over it. The beach was pretty as well, but definitely not the prettiest beach I've seen. All the staff on the island are fantastic and had a great energy to them. You could tell a lot of the staff were still being trained and were unsure of a few things we asked, but I'm not faulting them for that because we were literally the second ship to ever dock there. I also need to commend the overall design of the destination as well. It's very simple and easy to navigate and find your way around, which is a huge plus. I also want to commend the food quality on Celebration Key as well. Granted, we didn't eat a whole lot during our visit, but what we did have was made fresh and tasted fantastic. Unfortunately, however, the food also brings us to the negatives of Celebration Key, and I feel that this is the biggest downside. Why are we only limited to one free item? I love the fact that there are so many options for food, but only having one free meal included is a bit greedy in my opinion. If you want to charge for food and keep your specialty sit-down restaurants, then fine, but give us the option to get basic free food elsewhere. We don't need anything fancy either. Offering burgers, chicken tenders, hot dogs, and fries for free at one location, then charge for everything else at every other location, I feel is a good compromise. Also, only having water be the literal only free beverage is a bit greedy as well. Even Coco K offers lemonade or basic fruit juice for free, so even adding complimentary lemonade would really help things. Keeping with the drinks, it's a really big deal that the onboard drink package does not work on the island. Now, this doesn't affect me much as I don't drink much at all to need a drink package, but even as a non-drinker, I feel that making your guests pay for drinks on top of their package is greedy. The two words I would use to describe Celebration Key are beautiful and greedy. There are just way too many upcharges at this destination, which is really a shame. Just a few tweaks and compromises could make this destination perfect, and it has the ability to be better than an island like Coco Cay in my opinion, but the greed is really holding Celebration Key back. With all of that said though, I am still very excited to head back and experience it again. Once you know what you're getting yourself into, and you know what you have to shell out money for, then I feel anyone can still have a fantastic time here. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video and the rest of the videos in this Carnival Conquest series. Don't forget, my review of this cruise as a whole will be coming very soon, so please make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that video. If you guys made it to the very end of this video, let me know you're a real MVP by leaving the word key down in the comments section below. I hope you are all having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, and evening, and I will see you guys in the next video.